Hi, good afternoon. Sorry, you're muted.
There you go.
There you go.
How we doing today?
Good. How about yourself?
You bet. Got everything organized?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we're good shape.
Hey, Terry, how's your ankle doing?
Not too bad.
What
Much
did,
better.
what did they diagnose it as?
Just tore the ligaments, but didn't break anything.
Wow. So you in a cast?
No, I wear a brace once in a while if I go out to feed.
Don't get on those tractors no more, man.
Oh, I've been back on them, but I just have to be careful.
Jesus. You nut.
Always something. Ah,
I don't want to go through another trustee search. Too stressful.
too stressful. I thought everything went really well the other day.
Yeah. We had two good candidates, and I think we came away with a really good decision. And I'm real excited about working with Valdes Vinos. And yeah, I've heard nothing but people say, hey, it sounds like you guys got a good one. I mean, he's not very well known in the community, but his credentials speak for themselves.
Very positive, huh?
Has he started any orientation or?
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
them all lined up.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Wonderful. And Terry, I came in on the end of it. You're okay?
Yeah,
Your ankle's okay?
I'm good. Yeah, not bad.
I remember last time something happened on your tractor and you wind up with your Harry Potter scar. Remember?
Oh,
On
yeah.
your forehead?
Oh, I hit it. Oh, I hit it with my tractor. Yeah, that hurt. Four-wheeler. Jeff Cundy, he's traveling in the north on vacation. Is he on the call today?
I think Dorothy is.
Is Dot going to step in? Okay.
That's what I heard.
That's the plan.
Yes, she confirmed to me. She sent me an email that she was gonna be present today.
Okay.
Hey, Glenn, you looking sharp, man.
Oh,
Didn't I
thank
tell you
you.
about rule number one is you don't dress better than the president?
Oh, sorry. I'll
Rule number one is
I'm
don't
sorry.
dress better than the president. And rule number two is see rule number one.
Oh, I'll not. I won't dress next time like this. I'll dress down a little bit.
Nah, I'm just teasing you. As we
Okay.
say in New York, I'm just busting your chops. You know.
Okay.
There's Seraphin's arrived. Hi, Seraphin.
No?
I see a picture. He's concentrating.
Okay, I know. Oh, we have a minute. Dorothy won't show up to the last minute.
Is that what she does?
You told me about that, and you're so absolutely right.
That's what she does. Is it? So Dorothy will appoint him to committees, is that, he'll,
Yeah,
yeah,
and we had a good meeting with the company that's going to help us with redistricting this morning, and
oh, good.
I think it'll just right timing for us to start. And
I
then,
noticed in the paper, the county is starting their community meetings on redistricting.
yeah, they have an earlier deadline than we do.
Yeah,
So, but we'll be right on time. A lot of moving parts, a lot of stuff going on.
mm-hmm. Well, we have a quorum, but it's not quite two. Another minute.
Give her a minute and she'll pop up.
Hmm. Well,
All right, it's 2:00, guys. Do I have a motion for approval for the minutes?
so moved.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You have any public comments? Anybody?
So there's no public comments for today.
Nothing? Okay.
No.
Dr. Chong, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Terry. Good to be with you all today. I'm gonna just say that if you've been on campus lately, you'll have seen a lot of work on campus. We're way ahead of schedule on the athletic fields. Unfortunately, due to the fact that there's been a lack of rain and with a lack of students and faculty on campus on site, we've been able to accelerate some projects. So I'm going to turn it over to Seraphin and our very talented and able and dedicated staff to give you some updates and answer whatever questions you might have.
Thank you, Dr. Chong, and good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon, board members. Next on our agenda, I do want to report that we've been working very close with the City of Santa Rosa Bike and Pedestrian Overpass project team. As you know, the landing for this overpass will be on Elliott, right in front of our student housing project. So the design teams between the student housing project and the overpass design team have been working very close just to make sure that we're addressing issues related to the two projects and that we are able to move forward smoothly. One of the recent developments is the actual landing at the Elliott site of the overpass. And like I said, we met briefly with the design team in the last couple of weeks, and they have a presentation that they will be making today to you to, number one, give you an update on the project, and number two, share with you some of the design options that they are presenting for that landing. The landing will not necessarily encroach onto the right-of-way or the planned right-of-way, but it does change a little bit of our plans of what we had planned in that area where the landing is taking place as far as our parking. So with that, I will turn it over to Grant Bailey, who is the supervising engineer for the city of Santa Rosa and the project. Grant?
Thanks a lot, Seraphin. Appreciate the introduction. As Seraphin mentioned, my name is Grant Bailey. I'm a supervising engineer with the Transportation and Public Works Department and project manager for the US 101 Bike and Pedestrian Overcrossing Project. With me today, I have Natalina Bernardi with BKF Engineers, who is our civil engineering consultant on the project, and Stephen Grover, who's the project architect. He's with Stephen Grover and Associates. As Stephen mentioned, we're excited to be here today as Seraphin's mentioned, we're excited to be here today to provide the committee with an update on the project and also present a few design concepts at the East Landing on Elliott Avenue. And so with that, I think I'll turn it over to Stephen and Natalina.
So
Stephen, you're on mute.
this is Natalina. I believe we have a presentation that Stephen's gonna bring up. So just, if you could just give us one moment, that'll be great. Thank you.
Great, I'll share my screen. So this is an overview of the project area. Today, we're focusing in on what we call touchdown area and mixing zone for the east side of the project. Just by way of orientation, the project crosses the 101 freeway. We call this side the west approach, and this area right here, the west touchdown. And then this area, if you can see my mouse, we're calling the east approach. And then this area right here, we're calling the east touchdown. And here's the same area, roughly as it is today in aerial photo view. This is a layout of the proposed parking in that area.
Stephen, there's a bit of a lag when you transition slides. So now we're looking at the satellite view of the existing conditions.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of lag. Okay. Are you seeing the parking plan yet? Oscar?
Yes, we see it.
I see it on it as well.
Yeah, so here's a drawing of the parking as it was designed before the projects had fully coordinated. Here, just by way of review, is an image that we showed in July 2020 to this committee regarding the design of the east touchdown area, and specifically at the request of Dr. Chong, some assessment and analysis of how all the different cyclists and pedestrians would interact safely at this touchdown area. The landscape, is everybody seeing this screen now?
Yes, but there is a bit of a lag, Stephen.
Okay, I'll try and keep that in mind. So the landscape and hardscape treatments in this area are still to be refined somewhat as the design progresses, but this is roughly the configuration that we have in mind. And if you can see it yet, this is a view of that same area from the ground level perspective.
So Stephen, the question, the bikes are going on the hardscape, the gray, right? And then the pedestrians go on the pink brick type of looking, as it looks like?
Yes.
Is that how people distinguish what is the the bicycle lanes versus the pedestrian pathways?
That's one way they distinguish. There's also different texture, and there's a very slight elevation difference. The sidewalk is slightly elevated to kind of trigger that innate sense of you're on a sidewalk, you're slightly above, but with a very low angled curb that is mountable so that it's safe if wheelchairs or cyclists need to run up on the sidewalk for any reason.
How does the cyclist who's heading west to go toward Cottingtown, how do they merge into there's incoming traffic? See that white car coming down, the other white car coming down toward Mendocino. How are they going to cut over? Is there a yield sign of some kind or something to slow them down so that there's some right of ways?
That's a great question for city staff about how do we make a safe connection on the public right of way. Grant, I think we should take that up specifically along Elliott.
Agreed. Yeah, that's a great question, and I can't say that I have an answer for it today, but it's something we'll definitely note and look into.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. These are sharrows currently, so theoretically all the cars are supposed to be looking out, but I think we can do better. So going ahead again. Again, I don't know when the slides flip, so I'm guessing a little bit. Can you see the ground level view again?
Yeah.
Okay. And then here is the plan for different areas that are needed either during construction or permanent right-of-way. So in brown crosshatch, this is the fire lane. You can see with my cursor. That's the fire lane around the parking lot that we must remain clear for the student housing. The blue crosshatched area is permanent right-of-way for the project and for the crossing project, and the purple diagonal hatching is temporary construction laydown area. Now for the student housing, what's currently on the plans before any crossing project comes in is a pathway that just goes straight out to Elliott Avenue. Of course, that won't be possible once the bridge approach is in place. So that path will have to divert around. Here again is just a little bit clearer view of the new city right-of-way in blue, and then the construction easement area in purple. And here are the placeholder seat walls, hardscape, touchdown area added in the blue area. And what I'm showing here, if I can draw on it, is the new pathway from the student housing to get out to Elliott. So instead of going straight ahead anymore like that, we divert to the east. Now, the parking that was designed before we worked all this out included 38 spaces, but there's an overlap. So there are two drive aisles, but the two projects now conflict, and we just recently figured this out. So this is the crux of what we wanted to present to you today, of how to, our ideas about how to resolve this conflict. Here you see the two projects overlapping. And then here's a proposed schematic plan for retaining all the features of the crossing project, but gaining some, I'll call it in quotes, public open space here where there's trees and biofiltration area, and reducing this to one drive aisle for a total of 28 instead of 38 stalls. And I think that's the last, yeah, so that's really the crux of it right there for this committee's review.
Are you making up
So
the,
also for,
are you making up the other 10 stalls somewhere else? Because parking is a premium, as you know, at the college. So,
Well, we got you 7 stalls extra that you didn't have before under the bridge
okay.
over here.
So that's a net loss of three spaces then?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's probably the best we can do, to be honest, because if we've tried a number of layouts that use 2 drive aisles and it's actually less efficient. We actually get fewer spaces. It takes more space, but we get more overall footprint, but it provides fewer parking spaces. There may be some, I don't know, Jimmy, you may want to chime in. There may be some reduction or changes in the requirements for this biofiltration that could change what I just said, but I don't know that at this point.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the EBA, the engineering firm that's taking care of the parking lot design, I think they said that they would take a second look at our schematic layout and see if they could squeeze in any more spots and look at the bioretention requirements. We'll just wait to hear back from them.
And the reason this is all happening is because we're not going to go straight out to Elliott. We have to curve to the right to the to meet where the bike path is going to end. Is that correct?
That's part of it. It's this pathway,
Right.
but it's also just that this parking was not laid out with the project right of way that was required in mind when they laid it out.
Okay.
And I do want to mention that the landing, the touchdown area is pretty prominent on the east side. And we did that because of all the circulation that we're expecting, from Elliott, student housing and SRJC. If we were to cut that back, we could provide further parking spaces. But the last time we came before the facilities committee, they did ask us to really take a good look at that area, the touchdown area, and make sure that we provide adequate room for
Right.
all the circulation, the division between the different modes of traffic.
Okay.
Steve, I've got a question. What's this project going to cost and who's paying for it?
Yeah.
Which project?
That we're talking about right now? The
The
overpass.
The overpass.
Is that all JC responsibility or is the city as well?
So the crossing project is the city's project, and these parking stalls are the JC's project.
The SRJC is not contributing to the bike overcrossing project.
That's all city?
City and grant funding. I'm sorry, Grant, I think I cut you off, but there's grant funding that we were able to obtain.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay, Natalina. I think you answered it pretty well generally. If you want a more detailed answer of where the grant funding is coming from, I'm happy to provide that information now.
What's a project like this going to cost over total, not counting the parking on the JC side? What's the rough number?
$22 million for construction, I believe, is what we're estimating currently.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And has it been authorized by the city?
So the project was The environmental phase was completed in March of this year, and Caltrans was the lead environmental agency. It was certified, and there was no, went through the entire environmental process, and it was given approval to move forward with there were two alternatives that were considered. The selected alternative was the Elliott Edwards alignment, what we're looking at today. And the other alternative was the Bear Cub Way alignment. And so the selected was Elliott and Edwards. And at this point, we do have authorization to move forward. We have environmental clearance. I think the biggest hurdle at this point will be to close the final funding gap. There's good news we got a lot of good news in, I think it was April or May of this year. The city received $12 million in construction funding from Metropolitan Transportation Committee through the Advanced Transportation Planning Program. And currently with other funding sources that are secured, I think we have $16.5 million secured, and we are currently seeking the remaining about $5 million outstanding, $5 million that are outstanding. But we're pretty confident, the city's pretty confident at this point that we will be able to secure that funding over the next 2 years as we work through and finalize the design.
So when would you project that this would actually be built?
Our current schedule reflects a construction start date of October 2023.
And how long will it take?
Approximately 2 years to build. I think we are showing a completion in fall of 2025.
Okay. Thank you, Grant.
Dorothy, do you have a question?
Yeah, well, that just brought up, so there's going to be about 2 years of construction. So are we going to have to limit parking? Are we going to not have some of this parking during those 2 years when we're first open, our housing is first open?
So yes, I do believe the slide that's currently up, the hatching that is in pink, that is our proposed temporary construction easement area. And I believe that was another consideration that we wanted to bring to the committee today as well. Natalie or Stephen, I don't know if you wanted to add to that at all.
Okay, so because we're planning on opening the housing and that's when it'll be open. And so
just to be clear, all the parking for the housing is this over here,
right?
And so this here in the pink is supplemental, I think. I don't know what the JC's calling it, but it's separate from the housing project.
Okay, all right. And then the other thing, well, go ahead, finish talking about this. I just had one other question.
I just wanted to comment and just remind everybody that the current, the pink shaded area is currently the construction laydown area for the STEM project. So that's where the general contractor for the the STEM project has their laydown area. So we haven't developed it into the parking yet.
Okay. Okay. And then the other comment, just because I'm on the housing committee that's working on this, and I know one of the things we've tried to make sure is that any plans for the housing in terms of how people move or where things are, we've been running through Chief Brownlee for in terms of public safety and student safety, and I just wondered if somebody's if he's looked at that, if somebody else has looked at that, just because I know that just keeps, he's been pretty insistent that he look at things ahead of time.
And just for
you do bring up a.
Sorry, go ahead, sir.
Yes, Chief Brownlee has not been part of these conversations, but you bring up a great point. And I think you're right. It's something that we do need to bring him in on. We have brought up the safety as a major factor and security in all of our coordination efforts with this particular project. That in fact was one of the conversations we had as far as both pedestrians and bikes being able to get from Elliott onto the student housing site. And we feel that the proposed design currently does accommodate that, but we will have to include Chief Brownlee in this conversation.
Okay, thanks.
If I may, Seraphin, just add to that, I think that there will be a lot of synergy between the projects because I think that this design that we're showing will in fact be a more inviting entry area for students entering from Elliott than the currently proposed pathway here.
And I just want to say that we're not there yet, but we're developing staging plans, very detailed staging plans, so that it's identified exactly how traffic, both vehicular, bicyclists and pedestrian traffic will be able to maneuver through the site safely. And so once those have been developed, we'll present it to SRJC. We've been in good communications with them all through this process, and we'll continue to do so.
Do we have any other questions from board members or Dr. Chong, anyone? Yes, Maggie?
I was just wondering how this coincides, and maybe we had talked about a possibility of closing Elliott Avenue and doing an experimental closing, but the closing isn't this far west, correct? Or does it go all the way to Armory? No.
No, it does not. You're right. It ends at Emeritus.
Right, okay. Just double checking.
Okay, if there's no other questions from the board, one of the things that our intention today was to have this presentation to see if there were any concerns from BFC in us moving forward with working with the city to continue to develop this area. If there are no issues or concerns, we will continue to work with them and bring back to you our final designs once those are complete as well.
Okay, good.
Okay, then I'd like to thank Grant and Steven and everybody from the Overpass Project for sharing this update with us. And now we will move on to the rest of our
Project updates.
presentation. So with that, I'm going to change screens and share my screen with you. Okay. So we are going to start off with our purchasing update. There is one current solicitation in progress. That's for the Busman Hall Alteration Phase 3 project. This is the IT department area that is currently out to bid. Bids are due on October 28th, and we're estimating these upgrades to cost about $248,000. Upcoming solicitations that the purchasing department is working on is the foundation building. They're putting that package together. As you recall, we put a hold on the bidding phase for all of our projects. So we restarted that with the purchasing department. So this project is now being prepared to be put out to bid. At the second floor of Doyle Library, we have a computer lab that has been designed as primarily furniture equipment. So that purchase of that furniture is out to bid, or rather the preparation for that package is being done by purchasing now. And then they have the Enterprise Resource Planning Software System, RFP, that they are also working on. Next, we have our IT update. And we have Kevin Snyder to kick this off.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. And first, I'd like to thank Paul and Seraphin for prioritizing the Busman Phase 3 project. You have the thanks of a grateful IT department for moving that forward. Second, I'd like to tell Grant, nice work, nice presentation. He lives across the street from me, and I didn't know he was going to be here. So, hey, Grant, and nice work. And third, some quick updates from IT. We're getting close. We can finally see the end of the light at the tunnel, the end of the tunnel for the data center. We've had a long and frustrating issue with air leakage because you have to pressurize the room to certify the fire suppressant, and it's taken a much longer than we'd like, but it's getting close to the end. They're closing off all the last leaks so they can get everything certified, and then we can finish moving the rest of the equipment over from the old side of the data center into this new data center. So we're making progress. We're getting there. I'm very excited. The outdoor Wi-Fi project is in process, but due to understandable and unfortunate supply chain issues, we're getting some of the hardware not until November. So it's moving that a little bit back, but we will be ready to hit the ground running as soon as the hardware gets in. Our instructional computing department is in the midst of deploying 330 computers to refresh the computers in both libraries. Near and dear to my heart, being a security guy, we now have a new button that most of our employees, I think almost everyone's got it, where instead of having to open a ticket if you've got a phishing email or making a phone call, you click a button on your Outlook toolbar and bang, you're done. It does all the work. It forwards it to our people to look at. It forwards it to a company called KnowBe4 who looks at it, makes sure it's either spam or phishing and ranks the risk for us. So it's going to make our ability to recognize and deal with phishing attacks much better. And the last bit is that we're making some progress on our ERP, and as this August body knows, the ERP is part of the Measure H. We have $11 million currently put aside for that project. And the project was not successful in 2017. We started it up a little over a year ago, and we're making good progress. I'm really excited. We're getting into the phase where we're getting ready to start looking at product pretty soon. So I'm excited that that is moving forward. And unless anybody has any questions, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Kevin. We'll move on to capital project updates, and we'll start with Samita on the Petaluma campus.
Thanks, Seraphin. At the Student Center, Building 500 in Petaluma, we've done our second furniture installation. So what you're seeing here is the front reception desk. You can change sides. We've also done installations within the office spaces and most of the student workstations within the main space. We still have some sofas coming in at the end of October. You're also seeing the conference rooms completely outfitted, as well as thank you to IT for outfitting all of the screens in the space. The slide before, I think, showed the very large screen that we have in our main open area. And then the second photograph in the center here shows the banquettes that are in building 400 for the cafe. The tables are still yet to come.
It looks like you're teaching sports bar management. Like to sign up.
Yeah, you know, we're going for a collaborative, fun vibe, so that's okay.
All right, as long as the 49ers start winning, we'll be fine.
You're talking about the color, or the orange. That wasn't my choice, but I think it looks great.
I like it. Giants.
That space over there you're looking at is in Building 500. Again, some other workspaces for students to sit and collaborate. Next slide. So that's pretty much Building 500 in a nutshell. We're working through our furniture at this point and wrapping up some final details, working with Fac Ops, thanks to them as well, to just take a look at any issues that are happening in the building now that folks are actually starting to work in there. Over at the construction center project, we are wrapping up design development drawings with TLCD. We have run through many value engineering options with them so that we can bring this building back in somewhat of a budget and go back out to the government and ask them for a little bit more money. Our next advisory group meeting is going to be this week to review the finalized plan for the building. And I have a couple of drawings to show you here. I won't go into too much detail, but this is what it's looking like right now. We have a center core with all of the offices and restrooms that are needed for both support spaces that are needed for both of the classrooms. And then to the right, we have the construction classroom and the wood shop. And to the left here, you can see the HVAC and solar lab, which is separated with a wall so that they can have classes that are happening at the same time. We've worked really hard with TLCD and our user groups to make sure that all the equipment that's needed, that's not shown on this plan, but all of the equipment is going to be integrated into the plan nicely. Next slide. And these are just some elevations to show you how that's coming along. I think that's all I had
Thank you,
today,
Samita.
Seraphin. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And next we have Paul. Paul, you're on mute. You may want to start over.
All right, good afternoon. What we have here is Schoen Farm, the Agriculture Portables update. And what we have is the switchgear presentation that has been presented to PG&E for final sign off. We also have the asphalt and the concrete that has been poured for the site, which is 100% of the site work has been completed. As an addendum to this, I would like to mention that we are now having the ramps being installed. As of today, there's been light painting, so we're moving forward. Next, we have the Schoen Farm greenhouse, which is now under contract, and we are ordering our materials. We again are working with the contractors to order the materials. The greenhouse itself is on your left side of the document, and this is really what the finished product will eventually be looking like. So I appreciate the process, the progress.
I do want to clarify something. I think the picture may be a little bit misleading. There is a greenhouse you see on the picture on the left. That's the old greenhouse. The new greenhouse is not built yet.
Yes, correct.
So you're looking at a picture of the old existing greenhouse. So next we'll go to Rhonda.
Hello. We just finished the Scholars Drive section of the project and created 14 new spaces and paved 14. The area looks very nice. We're just doing a couple punch items. We can go to the next one. On the STEM project, we have now finished pouring all the footings. They're currently working on the underground electrical and underground plumbing. Going to be building a crane pad in the next few weeks and starting to erect steel the very beginning of November. And that's my presentation.
Thank you, Rhonda. I guess this slide just reminds us all that the cameras are available for you to watch the construction on anytime you want. Next is Amy.
Yeah, good afternoon. Baker Hall, the Life Sciences Lab and Classroom project is going well. The flooring and painting is complete. And next they'll be bringing in casework and the MEP trim. The aluminum canopies will be installed mid-November. And the benches, cedar benches and metal wall signs will be installed next week. We plan to be completed in November. There's a picture of the preparation for the canopies on the right and what the metal signs will look like on the left. Bertolini Health Services tenant improvement. All the demolition is done. We're into the finishes, the demolition and framing. We're into the finishes. The painting is complete. And we are now on installing ceilings, acoustic ceiling, grid, and all the above ceiling work. And then next week, he will bring in the casework and start the flooring after that. The campus-wide security project is going well. As I reported previously, Windsor and Petaluma campuses are complete, excepting for the campus elevator upgrades, which haven't started yet. The conduit pathway routing and for the emergency call towers, the exploration for that is ongoing. We're going from building to building that get those call towers. And here's some of the picture of the interior work being done. It's complicated. On the left, they have to disassemble some doors to get their wiring in there. And on the right is the panel that the security panel that all the information transfers through. Thank you.
Okay, that's our quick project updates. Next, you have on the screen 6 items that we will be taking to you next week for your approval. We have a couple of design contract amendments. One for PBK WLC for the PSTC expansion project. This is a design contract amendment to modify the delivery of the project. So there's a little bit more design for them to design a full building and be able to bid it hard bid, a public bid, as opposed to a design build. Design build is something that this is a state funded project. The state does not allow design build. This amendment or this increase in price is within the project budget and within the state funded allocation. So we don't have an increase to our project budget with this amendment. For the Lindley Center for STEM Education project, we have amendment number 6. A large portion of that is the extension of the construction duration. We extended the project from 24 months to 36 months, which extends the time that the architect has to provide administrative services during the construction phase. There's also a portion on here where the architect needed to provide a design to correct a failure during the foundation part of the design. That is actually going to be paid for by the contractor because there's a failure from that respective manufacturer. But due to our contracting rules, we have to increase their contract, pay for it, and then we'll process a deductive change order with the contractor for them to make up for that cost. This amendment is also within the project budget, so there is no increase in the overall project budget due to this amendment.
Seraphin?
Yes.
Oh, are you done with the STEM building? I have a question about that.
Go ahead.
Well, no, I'm glad that you clarified it because I was going to ask you about the money. So I'm glad. So we're going to pay it up front, then we'll be basically reimbursed, is what you said. Also, this is our 6th amendment. And we're still under the 9%, correct? And we haven't. Are these amendments part of the 9% that you build into the budget for change orders?
No. So the contingency that you're referring to is only for construction. So that only applies to the construction, the contractor contract and change orders. So the change orders you see in the rest of the list, those are changes that the contractor actually has to execute. So that the 10% rule applies to those. For design amendments, we typically include a design contingency, but that does not apply to the design, the change order rule, the 10% rule that we're governed by.
So this, we're still within budget, but are we within budget for the amount of money we're going to spend on architects?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
Because I'm expecting, stuff's going to happen when they really start building. So, I mean, as it always does.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. The change orders are, we have one for CAD phase 2. That's change order number 3. This is also a scoreboard that's actually being funded by a grant that was, or a donation rather, that was secured. So it would be paid for by the foundation donation. However, since the contract is with us, we need to process a change order as part of this contract. So this actual change order won't affect the project budget since it will be reimbursed by the donation. We have change order 1 for the Lunavis Mechanical Improvement Project of $30,000. This is a relatively small contract, so it does take the overall change order percentage to 6.28. This added quite a bit of additional ductwork to the design after we bid it. So these were some modifications that we made to the design after we actually started construction. The next amendment is also for design to the new foundation building project. And here we added landscaping to their contract, which we didn't have originally. So that adds the design portion of it. And that'll be part of the scope that's actually bid out. So when the project goes out to bid, it will be included in there. The second item that's included in this amendment is the security portion. Security was not included in the project. So we're now including it to make sure that it's integrated with the rest of the district site-wise. And then finally, we have, we're contracting the special inspection and materials lab for the student housing building project. This is a DSA required inspection services. And this will be for $266,000. And that concludes my report, unless you have any other questions on any of these items or anything else that's been presented.
I just want to thank Seraphin and the staff. You can see how hard they're working on our behalf. They made incredible progress during the time when we've been closed. And I think so far we've had very minimal safety problems with employees, COVID spread. There's a lot of moving parts. And I just think, the work you guys are doing is amazing, and we really appreciate it. And, I think when students come back in mass, they're going to really see a different campus. And it's largely because of all the good work you guys are doing on behalf of our faculty and students. I just want to say thank you, because I know you guys do a lot of, heavy lifting on our behalf, and we really appreciate it.
Okay, anything else for the meeting? Shall we adjourn? Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.